Lewis Hamilton just drove a Ferrari that broke every simulation model on the grid. And no one saw it coming. Because the SF26 doesn't just look fast. It's hiding a rear diffuser so advanced. It's changing how teams design their entire car. When Ferrari lifted the car for a routine check, they accidentally exposed their biggest secret, a completely re-engineered diffuser. So aggressive, engineers from 3 rival teams took photos, froze the video, and called emergency briefings. And here's the insane part. This new design creates more rear grip without adding drag. That should be impossible. But Ferrari did it. And when Hamilton felt it, he didn't lift. He didn't hesitate. He braked later than anyone else into turn 11 and walked away with data that's now terrifying the rest of the paddock. This isn't hype. It's real. And if it works in race conditions, the championship fight just changed forever. Subscribe now. Because what you're about to see explains why every single team is scared of this diffuser. The moment that diffuser was seen in Bahrain, everything changed. It wasn't supposed to be public. Ferrari never released images. They never talked about it in press briefings. But then, during a simple mid-session lift, a crane raised the SF26 just high enough. And what the cameras caught was a completely new architecture underneath. No one expected it. Not Red Bull. Not McLaren. Not even Mercedes. Because what Ferrari revealed that afternoon is not just a rear-end redesign. It's a full redefinition of how the car creates downforce. And that's where the fear begins. This diffuser isn't just wide. It's aggressive. Its expansion geometry, what engineers call the kick line, is far steeper than what any other team is using. That means more suction, more airflow extraction, more rear stability at speed. But that kind of design comes with one massive risk. Stall. If the airflow detaches from the surface, you lose rear grip instantly. The car snaps. The lap is gone. So how did Ferrari solve it? Carbon layering. They rebuilt the entire floor structure using a new fiber arrangement. No metal supports. No flex failure. Just pure rigidity. And here's why that matters. The more rigid the floor, the more precise the airflow stays. The more aggressive the diffuser can be. And the more confident the driver becomes. Lewis Hamilton noticed it immediately. He didn't say much on the radio. He didn't need to. But the telemetry spoke for him. Under braking? Stable. Mid-corner? Planted. Exit? No drama. And that is the one thing Hamilton has missed for years. Rear confidence. Now he has it. And he's not the only one who knows. Because by the time the Ferrari was back on the ground, every technical director in the pit lane had already seen the photos. And the mood shifted. You could feel it. Something had just entered the game that wasn't supposed to be ready this soon. Ferrari didn't wait until round 3. They brought this on day 1. And it worked. But here's the question the paddock is still trying to answer. How did they make it work so fast? Because building a diffuser like this takes months. Validating it in the tunnel. Testing in CFD. Then packaging it with everything else: suspension, cooling, floor edge, rake. It doesn't just bolt on. So if Ferrari has already perfected this, it means something even more serious. They've been working on it in secret since last season. And they didn't tell anyone. Not the media. Not the FIA. Not even the suppliers. And now? They've unleashed it. And only one driver was ever meant to weaponize it first. Hamilton. This diffuser wasn't designed for just any driver. It was made for Lewis. And that might be the most dangerous part of all. Because the kind of rear-end stability the SF26 is showing, that's not just an advantage. That's Hamilton's playground. See, Lewis has a unique way of driving. He brakes deep. Very late. And while most drivers wait for the car to settle, he doesn't. He rotates the car during the brake phase. Mid-corner, when the rear is on the edge, he's already asking it to turn. But to do that, you need trust. You need a rear end that behaves exactly the same every lap, every gear, every surface. And that's what this diffuser gives him. Other drivers might prefer looser setups, a car that dances on the limit. But Hamilton? He wants predictability. He wants to know, if I turn in at 240 kilometers per hour, the car will respond. And this new Ferrari responds like a weapon. Fast corner entries, tight exits, minimal steering correction. But here's where it gets deeper. This diffuser doesn't just help Hamilton's speed. It hides his weaknesses. Because over the last few seasons, Lewis has had to adapt. Cars with too much understeer. Cars that didn't rotate. Cars that forced him to drive against his instincts. Now, he can finally go back to the driver he was. The one that punished everyone in high-speed sections. The one that could lap Silverstone or Suzuka like an art form. Because this car? It gives him back the tool he's been missing. And guess what? Charles Leclerc doesn't drive that way. He plays more with the throttle. He controls the rear using his foot. He likes a livelier car. But this diffuser, it kills instability. It forces calm. It punishes rotation mistakes. And rewards clean inputs. Which raises the question, was this car built for Charles? Or was Ferrari thinking ahead, designing something that would plug directly into Hamilton's natural rhythm? It's not conspiracy. It's performance logic. If you're signing one of the greatest drivers in history, you don't give him a car to adapt to. You give him the weapon he needs. And right now, he has it. He's just learning how deep it goes. And the other teams? They've already realized something else. If this diffuser is just stage 1, then Ferrari might be hiding more. Because no one brings this kind of innovation to day 1 of testing. Unless they're holding something even bigger for the races. And that's what's keeping Red Bull awake. Because the last time Lewis had a car this stable at the rear, he didn't just win. He dominated. But this time, he's doing it in red. And the paddock is watching. Every single corner. Every downshift. Every exit. Waiting for the first moment he goes flat through Sector 2. And makes it look easy. And when he does, the championship won't feel theoretical anymore. It'll feel real. The diffuser wasn't just an upgrade. It was a statement. And the moment it hit the screens, every rival team moved into reaction mode. Red Bull's trackside engineers paused their long-run simulations, switched screens, started watching Ferrari's GPS overlays instead of their own. Because something didn't add up. The SF26 wasn't supposed to be this stable on day 1. Not with a new floor. Not with a brand new rear architecture. But the data showed no mid-corner corrections. No rear drift. No over-rotation. Just clean, repeatable exits. And in Bahrain, of all places? That's not normal. That's intentional. So Red Bull started asking questions. Why wasn't the diffuser stalling under load? How was the floor staying sealed through cornering forces? Where was the airflow being energized? And most importantly, why hadn't they thought of it first? That's the kind of pressure Ferrari just created. Because in a championship fight, the scariest threat isn't the team that catches up. It's the one that solves a problem before you knew it existed. And Red Bull? They know what this means. It means Ferrari was not just working on speed. They were working on trust. Driver trust. Balance. Repeatability. And if they found it, everything changes. But Red Bull wasn't the only team alarmed. McLaren was watching too. And they saw something else. They weren't just being outpaced on lap time. They were being outclassed in rear stability. And that's the one area McLaren was proud of. In high-speed corners last year, they were untouchable. Now, they're seeing a red car take those same sections, with less steering correction, on harder tires, and more fuel on board. That's not a pace advantage. That's a platform advantage. And McLaren knows what happens next. If Ferrari adds consistency to their top speed runs, they're in trouble. Because McLaren's strength was always long-run degradation. But if Ferrari's diffuser reduces rear slip, their tire wear advantage disappears. And for Mercedes, it's even worse. Because they're watching a driver they built, now sitting in a rival car that's doing all the things they couldn't give him for 3 seasons. No rear snapping. No platform instability. No excuses. And deep down, they know what Lewis is like when the car listens to him. When he feels the rear. When he trusts the grip. He starts pushing earlier than anyone. And once he finds the limit, he doesn't let it go. So now, inside Brackley, the questions are getting louder. Did they let him go too early? Did they underestimate how fast Ferrari would arm him? And most importantly, do they even have an answer? Because that diffuser is not a concept. It's already real. And that's what makes it terrifying. It's not about potential. It's about execution. And Ferrari just executed it in public. On day 1. Before the first Grand Prix. So what happens when they actually start turning the engine up? That's what everyone wants to know. But there's one thing nobody's talking about yet. The diffuser is just the start. There's something even more radical, hidden in the airflow above the chassis. And if that system works, the SF26 might not just be fast. It might be unstoppable. While the world was watching the rear diffuser, Ferrari was hiding something right above the driver's head. It's subtle, almost invisible. But if you look closely at the top of the chassis, near the base of the halo, there's a slit, a narrow, curved opening. At first, most people thought it was nothing. Just a cooling vent, maybe a camera mount. But then the airflow modeling came in, and it told a very different story. This is not a normal duct. It's an S-duct. But not like the ones we've seen before. This one isn't there to clean up the front wing wake. It's there to manage something far more delicate: the pressure layer feeding the rear wing and diffuser. Here's how it works. As the car moves, turbulent air builds up under the nose. Most teams just let it pass over the top of the chassis. It's inefficient, chaotic. But Ferrari? They found a way to trap that air, speed it up, and eject it over the top of the car at higher velocity. That accelerated flow reaches the engine cover and re-energizes the air hitting the rear. The result? A cleaner path for the rear wing. More downforce from less angle, less drag, more efficiency. And it gets even better, because when that cleaner air feeds the beam wing, it helps suck even more air out of the diffuser. That's double benefit. From a single duct. A system working in silence, out of sight, but with massive aerodynamic impact. And here's why it matters. Rear downforce is usually a balancing act. More grip means more drag. More drag means lower top speed. But this S-duct breaks that rule. It gives Ferrari more rear downforce, without paying for it on the straights. And in Bahrain? That's the holy grail. Because this circuit punishes cars with rear instability. Crosswinds, sand, surface changes. It's a downforce trap. And yet, the SF26 was stable, planted, unaffected. Now we know why. It wasn't just the diffuser. It was this. The invisible airflow cheat code that no one was looking for. And here's the craziest part. Ferrari didn't even talk about it. They didn't confirm it. They didn't deny it. They just let the airflow do the talking. And now? Teams are scrambling to model it, to understand it, to figure out if it's legal or just genius. Because if it works consistently, Ferrari doesn't just have an advantage. They have an entire aerodynamic philosophy that others don't even understand yet. One that links front to rear, top to bottom, all synchronized, and all built around one goal: give Hamilton a car that never lies to him. And now? He has it. But there's one more layer to this story. Because underneath all this performance lies a compromise, a tension, one that's already emerging between Ferrari's two drivers. And it's not just about setup. It's about identity.